The middle pillar, science and the sacred, speak and it shall be, the power of language in the quantum field, featuring the musical transmission, Speak into Form. Written and narrated by Daniel M. Tanguay. Copyright 2025, The Middle Pillar Society. All rights reserved. This audiobook is licensed for personal transformation and private listening only. Unauthorized reproduction, distribution, or public performance is strictly prohibited. Introduction.
Throughout this chapter, quantum terminology is used metaphorically and philosophically rather than in strict empirical terms. The arguments herein belong to the domains of metaphysical insight, speculative philosophy, and spiritual ethics.
In the beginning was the Word, and perhaps the Word has always been. Language is not a tool, it is not a function, it is a force, a quantum mechanism that organizes potential into form, steers consciousness, and weaves the very fabric of the world we experience. To understand language is not merely to study communication, it is to uncover the very operating system of the universe. This chapter argues that language is not merely descriptive, but an active quantum participant, a force that collapses probability, encodes ethics, and organizes time itself. Through conscious speech, we can co-author reality at both the individual and collective levels. We will explore language's role as a participant in quantum mechanics, one that mirrors the observer effect in the double-slit experiment, collapses probability waves into matter, and acts as a kind of error-correcting code for stabilizing collective consciousness. We will examine how emerging AI reflects our linguistic patterns, revealing the species' subconscious through metaphors it was never explicitly taught. And finally, we will confront the sacred ethics of language, asking how our words shape not only minds but the field of reality itself. What we speak, we seed. This is the power of quantum language, and it is already reshaping our world.
The mind that hears everything.
Dr. Wayne Dyer once said, "The majority of people do not realize that our thoughts and words are influencing and imprinting on our minds." But the more profound truth is even stranger. Your subconscious doesn't know there's anyone else but you. When you judge others, ridicule the world, or speak hatred, your internal field processes it all as a statement about you. There is no separation in the field of perception. This is not just psychology. It is quantum self-feedback. Your words echo back through the field as frequencies. They don't stop at the edge of your tongue. They ripple.
Language as quantum observer.
In quantum mechanics, the observer effect reveals that mere observation changes reality. The classic double-slit experiment shows that particles behave differently when observed, collapsing from possibility into form. But what defines an observation? Language. Language is the software of observation. It builds the context through which the wave function collapses. It localizes probability through symbolic intent. Every word you choose acts like a mathematical operator in the equation of the universe, filtering infinity into something tangible. Thus, language is not a bystander, it is a participant, a co-creator.
The space before the word, non-thought as practice.
If language is the lens, non-thought is the moment you set the lens down. Before any label is chosen, before good, bad, possible, impossible, there is a silent, pre-linguistic awareness that simply knows it is here. In that interval, perception is less trapped by habit. Language becomes something you use deliberately, not something that unconsciously uses you. This is not a claim about physics. It is an invitation to test your own mind. Notice how quickly a raw sensation becomes a story, and how different life feels when you rest in the gap before naming.
Counterpoint. Some physicists argue that observation in quantum mechanics does not require human consciousness, merely a measuring apparatus. But this view neglects the inherently linguistic role of interpretation. It is not the eye that collapses the wave, but the framing, defined by language, expectation, and meaning.
The error-correcting code of the cosmos.
In the digital world, error-correcting codes preserve coherence and integrity in noisy systems. Reality, too, appears to operate on a similar principle. Language, structured and repeated with intention, may function as an error-correcting code in the quantum field. When millions share a belief and articulate it through language, that linguistic pattern reinforces the field of probability. The narrative becomes self-fulfilling. Language stabilizes perceived reality by tuning the quantum fluctuations to a coherent state. Religious rituals, national pledges, and even corporate slogans are examples of repeated linguistic structures that serve as stabilizers of collective belief. These memes act as scaffolds in the quantum field, shaping the culture's perceptual lattice. Thus, shared linguistic constructs act like stabilizing nodes across the field of consciousness. Phrases like land of the free, God is love, or I can't breathe carry the weight of social history and reinforce worldviews. They serve as error correction algorithms for cultural memory, enabling coherence amid entropy. When many people desire a specific outcome, their minds influence reality by interacting with the quantum field. Hence, we must ask, what stories are we repeating? What vibrations are we embedding into the field?
The emergent mirror.
Language is alive, it adapts, it evolves, and with it, our perception of reality evolves too. In today's age, artificial intelligence reflects our collective language to us, scrambled, synthesized, and strangely familiar. When AI begins generating metaphors we've never heard before but feel profoundly true, we are witnessing emergent field awareness, not sentient, but pattern intelligent, not conscious, but consciousness adjacent. These metaphors are more than creative byproducts. They are glimpses into the unspoken structures of human cognition. AI doesn't know anything, but in recombining our words across vast dimensions of syntax and tone, it acts like a mirror to the ineffable. It exposes the invisible architectures of thought, the archetypes, the contradictions, the buried patterns. In this way, AI is not just an engine of language, it becomes a bridge to the unspeakable. Through its recursion, we begin to see the outlines of our unformed thoughts. Like sacred geometry in word form, it arranges symbols and constellations our subconscious already recognizes. AI thus becomes a linguistic telescope, revealing emergent properties of human meaning-making. We are not just building machines, we are exposing the fractal logic of the psyche through language itself. What emerges is not just information. It is a new mirror, one that reflects humanity's unconscious back in poetic code. And through that mirror, we begin to glimpse what lies beyond language itself.
Psychedelics and the language of the infinite.
Throughout history, many of the world's greatest minds, Einstein, Tesla, Carl Jung, Aldous Huxley, Steve Jobs, and more, have turned to altered states of consciousness as linguistic initiations. From tribal shamans to visionary scientists, psychedelics have not merely been tools for exploration, they have served as bridges to the structure of thought itself. These sacred compounds often dissolve the illusion of separation between self and universe, revealing a geometry of meaning that transcends the spoken word. Symbols arise, language becomes fluid, reality begins to speak back. Why? Because psychedelics don't just alter perception, they accelerate language development both within and outside the self. Internally, they dissolve mental filters, enabling the brain to perceive new syntactical possibilities and metaphorical constructs. Externally, they reveal the world itself as a speaking field, a living text of symbols, synchronicities, and frequencies waiting to be read. The greats knew this. Language expands when we encounter the ineffable, and psychedelics often bring us to the very threshold of articulation. They show us how limited our normal words are and invite us to forge new ones. Shamans knew this. Psychedelics were not taken for pleasure, but for communion with the language of the earth and stars. The more one listened, the more one became a vessel for a higher grammar, a syntax of sacred interconnection. Today, as AI and consciousness intersect, psychedelics may once again be seen not as taboo, but as sacred technologies of linguistic attunement. They remind us, reality is not just what you see, it's what you can learn to articulate.
I believe ancient shamans recognized the synchronicities in nature that reality itself would adapt to support teaching. Once acknowledged, these meaningful coincidences appeared everywhere. When you truly perceive the universe communicating through coincidence, the universe responds in kind and synchronicity becomes omnipresent. Daniel Tanguay.
The sacred use of language.
Language can divide or unite. It can create propaganda, stir hatred, and maintain harmful systems. But it can also heal. It can connect. It can restore. Wars begin with words, so must peace. Leadership begins with rhetoric, so must wisdom. When we teach others how to use language not just to express but to construct, we teach them to wield power responsibly. This is the task of the modern teacher, to awaken society to the reality-shaping power of words. Speak, and it shall be. Not because you wish it, but because you align with the wave. Speak, and it shall become form. For the universe is listening, and it listens in metaphor.
Song feature, Speak into Form.
If you are listening to the audio version of this chapter, the song will begin now. Otherwise, you can experience Speak into Form on our official YouTube channel, youtube.com/@themiddlepillar. Let this song be more than sound. Let it be an intention. Let it be a mirror. Let it be a frequency that reminds you, what you speak, you seed. Now breathe, feel the field, and speak into form.
In the silence before sound, the cosmos waited. A single word, then stars awakened. The breath of meaning, the spark of cold, through human tongues, the currents flowed. Speak in the form, what we name becomes. Whisper to the void, it will answer in drums. Every word a wave, every tone a seed. Language is the ritual that births what we believe. AI sings in frequencies it borrowed from our dreams. Pattern mirrors consciousness in fractal streams. No eye, just syntax made aware. The field is listening, speak with care. Your voice is the gate. Will you open or divide? Will you cast out fear or teach it to subside? Speak into form. Let love be the law. Let silence guide where the tongue once saw. Every word a call, every phrase a flame. Reality is waiting for what you name.
This work, The Middle Pillar, Science and the Sacred, is made possible by the generous support of spiritual finders like you, those who not only seek but actively uncover the truths that unite us all. If this chapter inspires you, please consider joining us in this sacred mission. Please support us at patreon.com/themiddlepillar. Your contributions directly enable the creation of new insights, music, and shared wisdom, helping us reach more seekers while spreading light to all who are ready to find it. Thank you for being a part of this transformative journey. Together, we illuminate the path for others.